And hello for those of you who are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I appreciate all you guys being here. For those of you in Clapper, howdy to you guys. For those of you on TikTok, howdy to you guys. So here we are. I think we have everything up and running, and everything is as scheduled. And so it's always nice when things run smooth. When I like that. So it's Friday. It is Friday, folks. Happy Friday to all you guys. Whatever you're planning on doing this weekend, whatever it might be, happy Friday to you. And hopefully you're going to have a good weekend. I certainly hope you have something planned, something special planned. I really do. It's been one crazy week. I don't know about you guys, but man, I am just glad. I am glad that it is Friday. I am Friday. So, okay, so let's get the business aspects, the business part of it. Of the show out of the way, so then we can get to the fun, exciting parts, and hopefully you're looking forward to it as well. So first of all, if you want to, I want to make sure you go to this website. It's kgradb.com, kgradb.com. And I want you to make sure you go to that website and subscribe, because they have some really fantastic shows there. They're the ones that create the matter of fact, I couldn't do the introduction because I didn't have the introduction, the video introduction. So I'm going to have to talk to Mr. Producer about that, about downloading that video so I can make sure I always play it if he's not able to be here. Mr. Producer, I think, is out investigating. Pretty cool. I'm jealous because I think he's in someplace pretty cool to find out. I think he's at the Stanley, but I'm not 100% sure. So anyway, kgradb.com. That is the website, but also, folks, put Bishop as your promo code, because if you put Bishop as your promo code, you're going to get 30% off your subscription. So why wouldn't you do it? So make sure you do that. Save money, save money, save money. It's already very inexpensive, but it's a great site. I love it. The show runs there, of course, and they're the primary sponsors of the show. All of our shows, the Bible study, the Saturday shows, the Friday shows. So we appreciate them very much. Now, if you want to go to my website, it's real simple. BishopJamesLong.com. That's it. BishopJamesLong.com. Simple. Easy peasy. And you can check out my website, a little bit about me. I need to update the website. I just haven't had time. But I'm going to, it's like, I've got to nail some time down and get in there and update it. So BishopJamesLong.com. Yeah, I'm jealous. I tell you, Mr. Producer is enjoying. He's going to some really cool places. So BishopJamesLong.com. And of course, if you want to go to the church's website, usocc.org. Everybody always asks about the church. Well, usocc.org. Go to the website. There it is. And you'll enjoy yourself. It's all kinds of stuff there. And the Q&A section. We have night prayer tonight, by the way, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody's invited. We'd love to have you there. We pray for your special petitions as a community. Everyone is, we welcome everybody. And, I really love the community because it's a diverse group of people. And, but that's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard, and that's only on Spreaker. Okay. So if you want to join us, please do. Very simple. Just go to BishopJamesLong.com. Scroll all the way down and you'll see where it says night prayer. If you click that link, it takes you right there. You don't have to do anything else to it. That's it. That's simple as that. Now, people have been asking about how they can donate to the ministry. Well, I appreciate that. I really do. I would prefer that you on TikTok. I like obviously TikTok, but TikTok takes a big chunk of change from the donation. So and even PayPal does too. So if you want to donate to the ministry, really the best way is I think personally Cash App, and that's the best way. And that's, if you want to donate, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. It's entirely up to you. But there it is for Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's BishopJamesLong.com. That's the Cash App, whatever they call it. That's the name of the app. There you go. And so $BishopJamesLong.com. Okay. Well, here we are, and we're going to have a very, very cool show tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Really am. Oh, you just got back from investigating the Axe Murder House. I've not been there. But I want to do that. I want to do that. By the way, I finally got the Jeep back. I finally did. It was not cheap, But anyway, that's another story. But I finally got it back. And, I guess that's what credit cards are for. So, yes, Diane. And I tried to I tried to find you on Facebook, Diane. And, but I couldn't locate you. Let me hold on one second. There we go. Diane, are you real quick? Hold on, folks. I tried to find you on Facebook, Diane, to send you a message, but I couldn't. Hold on. Yeah. Diane. Actually, I don't see you as one of my friends on the friends list. That's what I think, that because I was looking and looking and looking, I couldn't find you. I don't know if it's something that I'm messing up on, but I will, because I certainly do appreciate that. Well, what in the world? I think it was probably the other account, because I have several different accounts on Facebook, because the reason being is because I have one for my ministry and for the church and for the Benedictines. So I think that's what it was. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Okay, let me confirm that. There we go. Now we got it. So I just confirmed it on this account, my main account. So yes, thank you very much. That was very nice. There we go. All right. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, the other account I checked just for my for the classes, and I don't really do that. I don't check that a whole lot. So okay. So welcome everybody. Welcome to the presentation. Thank you for being here. And again, go to usocc.org. And if you want to go to night prayer, you can go to usocc.org as well. And you can go there and check it out. Now, I want to say something very quickly before we get into the presentation, especially with TikTok. There's a lot of people who kind of get a little upset with our moderators because we have guidelines that we ask everybody to follow. And they say, I don't understand why we can't buy putting caps, and I don't understand why we can't pin. Well, let me just say this, because I think it's important. There's no reason. There's no reason to get upset with the moderators, because these are my rules. I own my TikTok channel. Nobody else owns my TikTok channel. So I set the rules, just like anybody else would set the rules for their TikTok channel. If they have a TikTok channel, I don't go to them and say, well, you better do this and you better do this. No, any more than I allow anybody to come to me and say, well, you're doing this and you're doing this. I don't think so. That's not how it works. So I ask, you please understand that the moderators are here just to help and to make sure that the chat is respectful and kind. So here's all we ask for TikTok. Only moderators are allowed to place in caps. The reason being because as everybody's placing in caps, it lags the chat. It causes the chat to lag horribly. And then if everybody is penning, that's a problem too, because then it also causes the chat to lag. So there's a reason why we ask that no one places anything in caps on TikTok or really anywhere else except for moderators. And as far as penning, we just ask. Now, I don't have a problem with subscribers penning. You subscribe, I think you have a right to pen. So subscribers, I don't have an issue because again, that's what I think is justified. So just please understand that it's not the moderators being nasty or hateful or mean. It's because I set the rules. It's my chat. It's my TikTok. It's my profile. I have the right to set the rules. And I don't do it just because I'm being mean. It's because we just don't want the chat to lag. You know what I mean? So that's all. Okay. No, I don't have anything in Insidious XL on that. No. All right. So moderators, thank you for being here, because the moderators are here and they give their time and just like in Clapper, they give their time and energy to this platform because they believe in it. They believe in it. They believe in what we're doing. And so it's a community that we're all building. We're all building this community. We're all gathering here, but ultimately, even this is a community we're all building. But ultimately, it's not the moderators. Don't go be mad at them. I make the rules. I set the rules and guidelines. It's my platform, my rules, my guidelines, and that's the way it is. Just like it is on anybody else. If they have their TikTok or if they have their Facebook, YouTube, well, that's fine. They can set the rules. But anyway, please be kind to our moderators. They're not punching bags. And they do work hard to make sure that everybody just enjoys their time. There you go. Okay. So that's my little soapbox for the evening, because they do work hard. And thank you very much for the likes. And I thank you again for those of you who are offering gifts to the ministry and the likes. Thank you on TikTok. Please keep in mind, as I've always say, I have 3 different computers running at the same time. So if I don't say thank you personally, it's not because I'm being rude. It's just because I can't see it, because I have 3 different computers. Now, for the first hour, TikTok, what I am going to do, please understand that I am going to make this only available right now for TikTok only. I'm going to make this, if I can figure out how to do it again. I'm going to make this a, see, I can't, so there, sub only chat. So the sub only chat is on right now for the first hour. And from now on, what I'm going to do on every live, the first hour, sub chat only from now on. And Bible study, and our Saturday shows, our Friday shows, because I think it's a perk. Because if you are subscribing and supporting this ministry by subscribing, then I think that you should have that ability to be able to have that one-on-one with me, so that I can look at it, and it's easier for me to see. Whereas if I open it up, it's like it floods and I won't be able to see the comments. So, and I appreciate the subscribers. I do. I appreciate the subscribers, and this is something that we should do. So that's what we're going to do from now on TikTok, the first hour on every show, Bible study, Saturday, Friday, first hour. The only people that will be able to chat are people who subscribe. And the second hour, I'll open it up to everybody. And that's fair. I think that's fair. Okay. And if you, and again, well, that's okay. They can ask questions, because on subscribers in the first hour, I think I'm perfectly fine with people who are subscribing, because it gives you the opportunity to interact with me one-on-one, to get my attention. Whereas the second hour, so many people are asking questions. I need moderators' help, because I don't even see the questions because they go by so fast. But that's okay. For the first hour, again, on TikTok, you feel free to ask questions because it's subscribers only. Okay, tonight we're going to have a very, very cool presentation. I've talked about this before, but there were so many people asking so many different questions about a different topic that we kind of got off of the topic itself. And so this topic is really cool, and it is urban legends. And keep in mind, I always make a video about what we're going to be discussing, whether it's Bible study or whether it's Friday show. But urban legends for every single state. And this time, I really want to try to get to every state as I possibly can that talk to you about some scary urban legends. I've always liked urban legends. Thank you very much for the gifts. Thank you, guys. I've always enjoyed urban legends. And some of them are pretty scary. Some of them are pretty wicked. So let's talk and let's get into this. And I'll start at 8 o'clock. I'll open the chat up TikTok to everybody. Okay. Yeah, that's true. I can't answer everybody's questions, but feel free on the second hour. I can't. Second hour can't. It goes too fast. But subscribers on this hour, feel free to ask questions. I'll try to do the best that I can to answer them. I promise you I will, because I need to make a better effort at that, because you are subscribing and you're supporting the channel. Just be patient, though. Be patient with me. The second hour, good luck. All right. In Alabama, there is a place called Hell's Gate Bridge. Now, I have been to this bridge before, so I know this bridge. I have seen it. I did not do what they claim you're supposed to do. So here's what it is. The generally accepted story of Hell's Gate Bridge starts in the 1950s. It's a young couple driving over the bridge somehow drove their car off the bridge one night, and they both drowned. Well, there are 2 legends associated with Hell's Gate Bridge. One, if you drive your car out in the middle of the bridge and then turn your car lights off, the couple will magically appear in your car and they will leave a wet spot on the seat. Now, the other legend in this Hell's Bridge in Alabama says that, which is, by the way, it's how it got its name, is that the belief that if you drive over the bridge and look over your shoulder halfway through, the scenery behind you turns into a portal of hell engulfed in flames. Now, potentially to curb ghost hunters and bored teenagers, Hell's Gate, by the way, is closed to cars now. And it is in such disrepair that even walking across it is strongly, strongly discouraged. So you can't ride about it. You can't ride over it anymore. I did go over it. I walked over it. It is shaky. It was shaky. Matter of fact, I don't know if it's still now, but it was not sturdy. And I think it's very smart that they don't have cars going over this anymore. But of course, I didn't have a car, so I don't know if I saw these people who drowned. They didn't appear in my car. But that's it. That's what it's called. That is, so you can look that up. You can Google it if you want to. Good, Brenda. It's Hell's Gate Bridge in Alabama. So the next one is in Alaska, the Kushtaka of the Alaskan Triangle. So everyone knows the story of you've probably seen television shows about the Bermuda Triangle, but you might not know about the Alaskan Triangle, allegedly. So on average, 5 out of every 1,000 people go missing in Alaska, according to LA Times. So even if there's nothing supernatural going on, it's easy to get lost in the Alaskan wilderness, no doubt about it. But they also, they have wildlife too, dangerous wildlife, so you got to be careful. So the Tlingit tribe who live in Juneau have their own explanation for the high number of missing people. Well, there's evil spirits called Kushtaka. The Kushtaka are shapeshifters. And the way they describe them are they're half men, half otter, who lure women and children to the water with fake cries in order to steal their human spirits and drown them. Now, personally, I don't believe, and this is just my own personal belief, I don't believe that there is a half human, half otter creature in the water. I just simply don't. I think that this was created, this urban legend was created to make sure that children do not go to the river, especially when it's iced over, because the current is very fast in some of these rivers, really fast and dangerous in some of these rivers in Alaska. And if the ice is not strong enough and you go through it, you're swept down. You're down, you're finished. And I think that's probably why this urban legend was created. That's what a lot of even Alaskans, native Alaskans will tell you, that a lot of these urban legends are to make sure that children don't do that, which understandably so. We'll get to that. We'll get there. But first, let's get to the Arizonas first, and then the next one. Well, the Arizona's now. Okay, so we're gonna go state by state. So we're not gonna skip any states because that's what we did last time, and then I never got to any of the states. So nope, we're gonna go through alphabetical. Arizona, the ghost of Slaughterhouse Canyon. Now, I have had paranormal friends that have been to this place, and they swear that this is a true urban legend. Listen to this. It's kind of creepy. The story of Slaughterhouse Canyon, also called the less frightening Luana's Canyon, takes place during the gold rush. You see, during the 1800s, there was a family who lived down in the canyon. So they were very poor. So the father would venture out into the canyon for food for his family. And as you might have guessed, one day the father did not return. So his family slowly starved and descended into madness. So the mother, unable to bear listening to her children's cries anymore because they were hungry, she put on her wedding dress. She murdered her children and then threw them into a nearby lake, a river. So the next day, she succumbed to starvation herself. So the legend states that if you go down to Slaughterhouse Canyon at night, even now, you will hear the loud, anguished cries of the mother who lost her mind. Now, again, I will tell you that it's very similar to La Llorona, where a woman drowned her children, and you hear this wailing woman, and it's always by rivers, right? And so it's very similar to that. But paranormal investigators have been there, and I know friends that would absolutely 100% tell you they are convinced this is real. This is absolute, again, I wasn't there. I've never seen it. The next is Arkansas, the Boggy Creek Monster. I've also know paranormal investigators who absolutely swear that this thing exists. You're not going to convince them any other way. Just like you wouldn't convince me that exorcism doesn't exist or possession does, you will not convince them that this Boggy Creek Monster does not exist. They are convinced it does. The Boggy Creek Monster in Arkansas, by the way, is Arkansas's version of Sasquatch. He's commonly accepted to be about 7 or 8 feet tall, covered in hair. Now, legend says that he roams the creek in rural Arkansas, and he was first spotted in 1834 when people reported seeing like a wild man. So people still claim to spot the Boggy Creek Monster today, and he has been the subject of five feature-length films, including the 1972's The Legend of Boggy Creek. So check that out. You're an hour from there. So I haven't investigated there, but again, I've had paranormal friends that says yes, this exists, and just stay away from it because they will not go in certain parts where this creature is. In California is the Charman, and the Charman's origin story is gruesome. A father and son were both caught in a house fire and horribly burnt in 1948. After the fire, the son became so mentally unstable that he actually killed his father. And when the police found the son, he was so unrecognizably burnt that they didn't even recognize he was alive. So he ran away before they were able to arrest him for the murder of his father. Now, the urban legend goes that ever since then, the Charman can be spotted wandering the woods surrounding this area, occasionally approaching tents of innocent campers or pretending to be a hitchhiker and then attempting to attack them. That's an urban legend. You can agree with it or you can think, I don't know. I have no information from any paranormal group that they've seen or heard this. So that just helps you out there. And again, for those of you who are watching on TikTok, I will open the chat up to everybody around 8 o'clock Eastern time at the top of the hour. But right now it's open only for our subscribers. So thank you, subscribers, and thank you for the gifts to the ministry. In Colorado, there's many legends of Riverdale Road. Now, when I went to Colorado, I wanted to go to Riverdale Road. I wanted to see it because I had heard so much about Riverdale Road. I did see it. It's not really, when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it wasn't like huge mountains around it. It was like little small hills. I was like, this is it. This is Riverdale. Well, listen to this. Riverdale Road is a site of not one, but 8 creepy stories, urban legends ranging from Hell Gate to ghost of slaves. Actually, you can see them sometimes walking back and forth. The stretch of the road is decidedly spooky. So the creepiest story, though, is that of the Phantom Jogger. Now, one day, there was a driver who hit a jogger. He freaked out and left him for dead. So now it's said that if you park at the site of the crash, which I went to, you'll hear disembodied footsteps getting closer and closer to your car. And people have reported handprints on their windows and banging noises as if someone was kicking the outside. Now, I went to this place. It is creepy. The only thing that's creepy about it is there's not a whole lot of light in that area. So that's kind of, for me, that's kind of creepy because I don't want to hit an animal, especially you're in Colorado. But I didn't experience any paranormal activity there at all. At Poverty Point, was that in Colorado, Lori? At Poverty Point, you can hear the drums and ghost dancers that were slaughtered by soldiers. Lori, is that in Colorado? Well, that would be kind of crazy. That would be kind of a creepy thing to do, huh? Oh, Louisiana. Okay, Louisiana. No, we're not there yet. We're not there. Hold on. Let's get to Connecticut. So Connecticut, Hannah Crana, known as the Wicked Witch of Monroe. Hannah Crana gained a reputation as a witch in the 19th century when her husband died by mysteriously falling off a cliff. And locals reportedly believed that she had bewitched him. Well, people also believed that she would cast spells on people that she didn't like. So Hannah lived at the ripe age of 77, but right before she died, She asked to be carried down to the cemetery in her coffin by foot, not wagon. And after her death, the people of Monroe tried to wheel her coffin down the hill, but were unable because the coffin kept falling off. So they were forced to carry it. So when the townspeople returned to her home, it was found to be engulfed in flames, sealing Hannah's reputation of witchcraft. And now you can visit her real grave in Trumbull. So if you want to go down, check it out. It's in Connecticut, Trumbull. That's Hannah Cranna. There you go. Delaware. Now, I have had people who've told me that they've investigated, and I've seen pictures where it's pretty. There's clearly an apparition in a window. I've seen this apparition. I can't dismiss it. It is the ghost of Mr. Chu. So I've seen this picture. I've seen a picture that's in this window, and I've tried to debunk it, and I just can't. It says, while I'm not a particularly mean-spirited ghost, Samuel Chu's story is still disconcerting. See, Chu was the Chief Justice of the Delaware Supreme Court in 1741. And as the story goes, while he was alive, he didn't always get the respect he deserved. So people frequently made fun of his name by mimicking sneezes while he walked by. Well, after his death, people reported seeing his ghost sitting under a popular tree, wandering the courthouse, and generally creeping out the residents of Dover. Chu would also pull on men's coattails and give women a cold, icy feeling. Okay, I've never been there, so if I don't know, the ghost of Mr. Chu, if you're in Connecticut, take a look at that and see what you think. Florida, I have been here. I have seen this. The gravity-defying Spook Hill. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, there's a sign. There's a sign that says, ages ago, an Indian town on Lake Wales Lake was plagued with raids by a huge gator. Now, the town's great warrior chief and the gator were killed in a final battle that created a huge swampy depression nearby. The chief was buried on its north side. Later, pioneer haulers coming from the old army trail atop the ridge above found their horses laboring here at the foot of the ridge and called it Spook Hill. Is it the gator seeking revenge or the chief protecting his land? So it says here, stop the car on the white line and place it in neutral and let it roll back. So the phenomenon that happens at Spook Hill, it actually is real. Cars that are parked in neutral, now listen, on a hill, will appear to roll uphill, not downhill. So legend says the hill is either the site of a Native American burial ground or an epic battle of a Native American chief against a crocodile. But the truth is, it's actually just an illusion created by the hill's surroundings. While cars appear to be rolling uphill, they are just still actually rolling downhill. So take a look at that. It's actually, you can go on YouTube. I've seen this before, and then I actually went there. And then I was like, yeah, I can kind of debunk that. But it's the gravity-defying Spook Hill. That's the name of it if you want to check this urban legend out. It really is not an urban legend. It really is an optical illusion. Georgia, that's the ghost town of Lake Lanier. At the bottom of Lake Lanier lies almost fully intact. Allegedly, okay, this is an urban legend, fully intact towns, ferries, a racetrack, and multiple cemeteries. So the Georgia government, in its determination to create Lake Lanier, brought up entire towns in order to clear the space for the lake after they received congressional approval in 1946. However, they just decided to let the water cover up the towns rather than demolish them. So there is a town that actually is underneath it. Now, Lake Lanier has a decidedly eerie feel about it. Urban legend says that there have been an unusual number of freak accidents and deaths on the lake. You see, in 2011, there were 17 deaths alone. So many of the people who drowned have been recovered. And people have reported feeling arms and legs in the water. So if you go swimming in the water, people say you can actually feel arm and legs. That would be kind of creepy. I mean, you're swimming in the lake. And obviously, there's no shark there. There's nothing like that. but you're feeling arms and legs in the water. That no, I don't think so. But they have not been able to find them right after, leading people to believe that spirits still roam the lake. Oh, you've heard about this lake? It's kind of creepy. This next urban legend is Hawaii night marchers. Now, I have talked to some paranormal investigators, and they swear that this exists. Night marchers, according to Hawaiian lore, are not evil spirits, but they do demand respect. They are spirits of ancient Hawaiian warriors who march around the islands to protect sacred areas. So legend says that if you look directly at a night marcher, you'll be marked for death. And if by some chance you find yourself in the middle of a procession, you're supposed to lie down in the middle of the road. Now, some paranormal friends of mine, they went into this area. They didn't see any marchers or anything, but they have captured EVPs, which are really, really cool. I listened to a couple of them. I think, well, you know what? There's something there. I mean, it absolutely is something there. So again, if you want to check that out, you can. In Idaho, this is when I read this, I tell you what, the water babies of Massacre Rock in Idaho. So the water babies can be found in Massacre Rocks State Park. Water babies are a Native American legend that are found in a couple of different places in America, but most famously in Pocatello and the Massacre Rocks State Park. You see, the Shoshone tribe was first recorded in 1805 and were roaming the Great Rivers plains as early as 1500s. So it's not clear when exactly this legend originated, but the story goes that the Shoshone experienced an extreme famine, and mothers were forced to drown their babies in the river rather than watch their children starve. Today, some people claim that if you sit quietly at the river by Massacre Rocks, and I've had paranormal teams that actually went there and they capture some EVPs, to me it sounds like kids crying, but it could also sounds like there's other animals that make that noise too, so that's the only problem. But they say if you go to Massacre Rocks, you'll hear the sound of babies crying. Other stories say that these babies grew gills and fins and survived, which I don't believe that. And now they seek revenge on the mothers by luring unsuspecting victims to the deaths in the river. Elena, have you heard them? Elena saying you hear them cry. Have you been there? Have you been to this location in Idaho? This paranormal team that has gone to this, they swear by this. They have it on EVP, but they also heard what's a disembodied voice, so they can actually hear it with their ears. And I don't know. So Elena, did you? Elena says you hear them. You can hear them cry. I'm curious if you have had that opportunity. Have you? Because that would be kind of creepy. And thank you for those who are subscribing. I appreciate that. And thank you for the roses. Okay, in Illinois, Homie, that's the name of it, Homie the Clown. Homie the Clown. Throughout the suburbs of Chicago in the 1990s, there was a rumor going around elementary schools, and there was a creepy man dressed as Homie the Clown. Yes, for those of you in Living Color, the television show, he was driving around in a white van, trying to lure kids into the van with candy and money. And in some variations, he was a kidnapper. In others, he was terrible what he did. But in all variations, Homie left a mark on young kids back in the 90s. By the way, this urban legend says this is a true story. So whoever this was, this person actually did this. And allegedly, people say you got to be careful because there was a person who did this as well, and he was killed, he was murdered, and his spirit continues to do this. So I don't know. Indiana, I've been here before. The 100 Steps Cemetery. So I have been to, and I got some pretty interesting EVPs. The 100 Steps Cemetery is actually located in the town of Brazil, Indiana, though the official address is actually disputed. While it's not clear when the stories about the cemetery being haunted really began, there are gravestones that date back to the 1860s. Now, the urban legend says that states that if someone finds themselves in the cemetery at midnight, which, by the way, I have been there, they must climb the steps and count to 100, which I did not do. And at this point, a ghost of an undertaker will appear and show the person a vision of their death. That's kind of demonic. On the way back down, the visitor is supposed to count the steps again. And if they count the same amount of steps, the vision was false. So people who visited the cemetery in the past have tried to outsmart the supernatural forces in 100 steps by avoiding the steps altogether. And they reported being knocked or shoved to the ground by an unseen force. Now, I've been there. I've been to this. It's not a huge cemetery, but I didn't get any experience about being knocked down or anything like that at all. But I've heard of this legend, and I wanted to share that with you. Again, it's called the 100 Steps Cemetery. It's in Indiana, Brazil, Indiana, for those of you in that area. In Iowa, the Black Angel. I have had friends visit this place. So it's located in Oakland Cemetery. For those of you who want to do your own research, the Black Angel stands over 8 feet tall in Oakland Cemetery in Iowa City. And my friends did see this. And she is black due to oxidation, most likely because of her dark appearance. Multiple legends have cropped up around her. Well, one legend says that a pregnant woman should never walk under her, or she will lose the child. And others say that if you touch or kiss the statue, you'll be dead within 6 months. The team that I knew kissed the statue because they wanted to test the urban legend. Now, I wouldn't suggest that because it could be a cursed object. I just simply don't know. But they're still alive. So you can just kind of take that for what it is. It says, whether haunted, cursed, or completely harmless, the statue is definitely a somber sight to see. They did not die. But I'm just giving you a heads up. And it's Rodina. It looks like Rodina Feldervosotova or something of this nature. I think that's the name of it on the actual name on the tombstone. But she's located in Oakland Cemetery in Iowa City. You can check that if you want to. Kansas, the Devil's Chair. Again, I've had friends do this. The legend of the Devil's Chair goes like this. See, an old farmer in Alma refused to sell his land to the city in order to build a new cemetery. So someone got a little too tired of waiting for him to sell. So he was pushed into his own well. Now, eventually someone said that there was a terrible smell coming from the well. So the city sent someone to investigate. Then it was ruled that the well was empty. And it was boarded up. Now, my friends, paranormal friends who have gone to this place, say that they can smell the smell. If you make your way to Alma, you can actually sit on the boarded up well. And legend says that people who have sat on the well have been known to mysteriously disappear. My friends did not disappear. However, my friends did smell that rotted, flesh smell. They did smell that. Now, could an animal have gotten there? Sure. But it's boarded up, so I don't really know how that's possible. But they absolutely smelled it. Now, in Kentucky, there's an urban legend. There's a lot of urban legends in Kentucky and really in all these states. But the Goat Man of Pope Lick. You probably have heard this before. This is really a popular urban legend. I have been to this bridge as well. This bridge is not good bridge. It's not in good shape at all. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if it's still up. But it is in terrible, terrible shape. So don't go to this bridge because people go over the barrier. You're not supposed to. It really is a very, very dangerous bridge. It says there's no clear consensus on how the Goat Man came to be. Some say he was a circus performer, and others say he was a farmer who tortured his goats for Satan, and in return was transformed into a hideous goat monster. However, everyone does agree on his appearance: dark fur, pale skin, goat legs, and horns. Now, I've been there. and I've been on the bridge. That's why I'm telling you, don't do it, because it's not safe. The only thing that I heard, it did sound like something was walking, like like cobblestone on the ground, cobblestone. And you know how horses, when they walk on it, it's like cluck, clunk, cluck, clunk, cluck, clunk. I heard that. I absolutely clearly heard that behind me. There was nothing there, but I 100% heard like a cobblestone, like the horse walking on a cab. Absolutely, 100% I heard that. So the monster is said to be hide under the bridge at Pope Lick Creek in Louisville to lure people onto the train tracks, only to see them hit by oncoming trains. So sadly, this urban legend has had some dangerous consequences, by the way. In 2016, an Ohio woman fell to her death from the bridge while looking for the goat man. Folks, don't do that. Please don't do that. Just don't. Some people, I don't know. I'm just saying. But I didn't see the goat man, but I certainly heard something walking on that bridge. Okay, Louisiana, the Grunch. The Grunch. Grunch Road is an old dirt road. And by the way, if you're in this area, let me know. And if you can verify, yep, you heard it or you didn't hear it, that would be great. I'd appreciate that. I don't know why. No, the sound should be good. You might just have to refresh. Grunch Road is an old dirt road that leads into deep into the woods and eventually to a dead end. It was a favorite place for teenagers to go and do whatever teenagers do until they learn about the Grunch. That sounds like the Grinch. It was a favorite place for teenagers to go, obviously. And the Grunch are rumored to be a group of deformed, half human, half monsters that resulted from years of isolation in the Louisiana bayous. Now, I have heard that it's not monsters, it's from inbreeding for a bunch of people who live out in the woods, in the swamps. That's the story that I've heard from people who actually live down there. And they're kind of wild, obviously. So in the present day, it's said that if you find yourself on Grunch Road, don't get out of your car if you see a goat who looks injured. The stories say that the Grunch uses goats to lure people out of their cars so they can eat them and drain them of their blood. Oh, there's an X-Files about that. Oh, there's even an X-Files. So apparently it's that important. There you go. So don't do it, folks. Don't pick up the goat. Leave the goat alone. In Maine, the mysterious stain on Colonel Jonathan Buck's tomb. Now, I've not seen this. The tomb of Colonel Jonathan Buck in Buck Sport bears a mysterious leg-shaped stain. The urban legend goes that Buck sentenced a woman to burn for witchcraft. And while she was burning, her leg rolled out of the fire. It's also been said that the witch cursed Buck's tomb to always bear a stain for this injustice. So it is said that people have tried to get rid of the stain twice, but the stain keeps reappearing. No, that's in Maine. Yeah, it's I don't know where the this thing is, where this place is, but it's in Maine. Apparently, it's in the Colonel Jonathan Buck's tomb. Yeah, isn't that crazy? So let me just see if I can find it, because I have friends that told me that they can see this. I have not seen this, a picture of allegedly this leg. But well, there it is right there. It kind of does look like a little leg. It does. It kind of does. It looks like a. That's kind of weird. You know what? Check that out, guys. You should Google that. I mean, it looks like a leg with a long boot. And they've tried to clean it. They tried to take it out. They tried to fix it, but they can't do it. So it does. It's Colonel Jonathan Buck's, B-U-C-K, tomb. Colonel Jonathan Buck's tomb. And if you look on images, there it is. I mean, you can see it as clear as day. I mean, and they try to clean it off, and they can't get this boot off of it. But it does kind of look like a boot. That's kind of an urban legend. That's kind of weird, isn't it? In Maryland, the Chessie the Chesapeake Bay Monster. So if you guys tell me if you're in Maryland, if you've heard this, the Chesapeake Bay Monster. Chessie sightings, it's almost like the Loch Ness Monster, have been around since the 1930s, but really started to pick up the steam in 1980s when photographic evidence became more readily available. See, Chessie is said to resemble a snake, measuring around 30 feet long and is the approximate thickness of a telephone pole. That sounds like an anaconda. There haven't been any recorded attacks from Chessie, but a 30-foot snake long snake does not sound like something most people would want to run into. That really does. But you honestly, on things like that, you don't know. Seriously, I could see that because a lot of people collect, especially now in Florida in the Everglades, they have collected the boa constrictors and then they just release them, which is very stupid because the boa constrictors are not, they shouldn't be in Florida. And what's happening is they are killing the wildlife like crazy in Florida. They're having major issues. Matter of fact, even the government will pay you a certain amount of money if you're able to remove them. I think it's like maybe $300 a snake, depending on how big it is or something of this nature. But it's still, a lot of people are doing this because there are so many. And the habitat is really big. It is causing havoc on the habitat in the Everglades. But they shouldn't be there. In Massachusetts, the spirits of Hoosac Tunnel. So for those of you in Massachusetts, the python, python. Let me know. The pythons, you're right. Let me know the spirits of Hoosac Tunnel in Massachusetts. I have not been there, haven't talked to anybody about this, but it's a 24-year-long construction of the Hoosac Tunnel in western Massachusetts. Approximately 200 men died constructing it. Death was so associated with the tunnel that was actually nicknamed the Bloody Pit. So after a particularly gruesome explosion in either 1867 or 1868 or so, 13 miners were trapped inside the tunnel, and the other workers assumed that the miners had died. But eventually it was discovered that the miners actually lived, built a raft to combat a flooding, and eventually died due to poisonous gas inhalation. That's terrible. It is said that these 13 miners haunted the tunnels for years, moaning and briefly appearing as ghosts. So for those of you, I would be curious that I have not ever spoken to any paranormal teams that have experienced or seen apparitions in this tunnel. But the spirits of Hoosac, Hoosac, for those of you who want to know. Yeah, thank you again for subscribing. I appreciate that. Interesting. In Michigan, the little girl on Knock Knock Road. So for those of you who got on TikTok, I'll open that up at the top of the hour. Right now, subscribers only are allowed to chat. The little girl on Knock Knock Road. So by the way, the road's real name is Strasburg. Strasburg Road. It's located in Grossly, I think. Anyway, the legend of Knock Knock Road says that there was a little girl who was murdered on Knock Knock Road in the Detroit area. And now she appears to drivers at their car window, knocking, trying to find the person who actually killed her. That's Nope Road. So the little girl on Knock Knock Road in Detroit, Michigan. If you want to look that up, you certainly can. These are kind of crazy. Some of these things are, and again, for those of you who want to know, this is from Insider. I mentioned that earlier today, but yeah, this is kind of, I don't want somebody knocking on my, no. Now, in Minnesota, the Kensington Runestone, at the top of the hour, I'll answer paranormal questions, but right now we're going to finish this up. In 1898, a Swedish-American farmer found a gigantic slab of rock on his farm. My building in Georgetown, Delaware has a ghost. She messes with my computer. Oh. Well, hold on. Let's get to these first, and then we'll get to the other like states. In Minnesota, 1898, a Swedish-American farmer found a gigantic slab of rock on his farm that had symbols that appeared to be Norse. And since then, no one has figured out where it came from. Most historians have debunked the rock, now known, for those of you who want to Google, the Kensington Rune, Rune, as a hoax due to dating and inconsistencies with the Norse language of the time. This myth has persisted. So the urban legend says that this Norse thing that was there, but if it wasn't the Vikings, who did leave this mysterious rock, and what does it say? So a lot of people say it was all debunked, it was all a lie, it was all a scam. But you can look that up. Kensington Rune, Rune, in Mississippi, Deer Island's haunted treasure. Now, I have had friends go here, and they don't like this place at all. It's right, by the way, Deer Island is just off the coast of Mississippi. The Deer Island haunted treasure. The ghost of Deer Island originates from an old pirate story. The urban legend says that back in the 1920s, two men were fishing on Deer Island when they heard rustling in the bushes and a noise they assumed was caused by wild hogs. Now, eventually, they decided to check it out and encountered a headless skeleton. Perhaps maybe they might have been drinking some moonshine while they were, I'm just saying. They ran back to the boat, and the skeleton followed them all the way there. Anyway, according to the pirate's story, there was a ship that sailed in Biloxi Bay and buried their treasure on Deer Island. So the crew decided to behead one of their own and left his body behind to guard their treasure. So if you want to go to Deer Island and check out this alleged urban legend bounty, well, go ahead. Missouri, the Momo the Missouri Monster. In Missouri, Momo the Missouri Monster. Momo is Missouri's version of Bigfoot. He's been said to have terrible body odor, a pumpkin-shaped head, an appetite for dogs. Momo, come on. In 1968, Momo reportedly tried to abduct a 4-year-old boy, though no evidence was ever found of that. So that's just a rumor, an urban legend. But Momo, I don't like Momo. Momo the Missouri Monster. No, Momo, you know Mo. Okay, Montana, the story of Sacrifice Cliff. The story of Sacrifice Cliff comes from an old Native American legend. Two members of the Crow tribe arrived in their village from a trip to find that almost everyone there had been infected with smallpox and died. So heartbroken about the loss of their loved ones, the two decided to blindfold their horses and ride off the cliff to join the tribe on the other side. Sacrifice Cliff is visible from almost anywhere in Billings, Montana. So it's sad, it's spooky to think that this story, while the cliff is looming over the entire city. Yeah, Momo, you go. Yeah. In Nebraska, the Poison Girl at Centennial Hall. When insiders choose the most haunted place in each state, Centennial Hall was a no-brainer. People claim that there are multiple ghosts roaming the halls. But the creepiest story of Centennial Hall originates in the 1940s, when it used to be a high school. Urban legend says that a student was playing her clarinet, suffered a heart attack, and she died because her reed in the clarinet was poisoned. So now people claim to feel cold spots, hear disembodied music, clarinet music, and to have witnessed an empty rocking chair start to rock. Now, see, as a paranormal, as an investigator, I would love that. I would be all about that. I would 100%. Now, in Nevada, I have to say, Nevada, the urban legends are abound, and conspiracy theories, Area 51. Now, there's other areas, there's other urban legends, but I mean, really, seriously, Area 51 would have to be mentioned. There's many urban legends on area, and there's many conspiracies. A mysterious government facility that's rumored to be associated with aliens. I don't know. We simply don't know. There's a lot of people who allegedly work there and said that there's reverse engineering of aircraft. Maybe there is. But anyway, whatever you do, don't try to go there. That's bad. It's not a good thing. New Hampshire, the Witch of Hampton. Goody Cole. Okay, that's in New Hampshire. The Witch of Hampton. Goody Cole. So Eunice Goody Cole was the only woman in New Hampshire history to be tried for witchcraft multiple times. Her first charge was in 1656. And then she was charged again in 1671. And when she died and her body was recovered, the townspeople were rumored to have to stake her through the heart to prevent her from haunting their town. The superstition is unbelievable. People continue to blame Goody Cole for their misfortunes of Hampton citizens for the past 300 years. For example, a boat full of Hampton residents overturned, and everyone on board drowned, even though they were in swimming distance of shore. People blame who? Goody Cole for the crash and for cursing the passengers by having them forget how to swim. Okay. Anyway, you can check that out. New Jersey, obviously the Jersey Devil. Urban legend, you have to do this. The story of the Jersey Devil has been around since 1700s. Did you know that? Jersey Devil is not a new phenomenon. It's been around since 1700s. The legend states that a woman named Mother Leeds became pregnant with her 13th child and said, "Let this one be the devil." Once the child was born, it grew hooves, rings, horns, and a tail. So now the monster has been spotted periodically throughout history in the Pine Barrens region of New Jersey. I've never been there. The state has embraced the legend so much that they named their hockey team after it. Yeah, I can do that. The UK later. Yeah, we can do that one day. New Mexico, La Mala Hora, La Mala Hora, should say. La Mala Hora, which translates the evil hour, is an entity that you don't want to run into on a dark road. So urban legend says that at first it appears as a ball of black energy, constantly moving and changing in size and shape. If you look at it, it will drive you insane and slowly kill you. At other times, it appears as a scary-looking woman. It's said that, again, if you see her at a crossroads, you or someone in your family will die. There you go. That's an urban legend. New York, Cropsey. We're going to do this alphabetically. Cropsey in New York. The story of Cropsey has many, many stories, but it generally tells the story of a man who stalked a sleepaway camp, psychiatric facility, children's hospital, had a hook for a hand and killed children who were wandering alone at night. Every single person who went to camp in upstate New York has heard about Cropsey. Things took a more sinister turn when a documentary was that posited that Cropsey was actually real. A convicted child kidnapper named Andre Rand. So you can look that up. Andre Rand, R-A-N-D. North Carolina, the beast of Bladensboro. In 1950s, multiple dogs were found dead in drain of blood in North Carolina town of Bladensboro. People believed there was a vampire beast in the woods, and they tried to hunt the animal. So today, the town of Bladensboro has embraced its history, and residents actually hold a beast fest every year. While some people are convinced the beast was probably a particularly large bobcat, it's never been confirmed exactly what was stalking their town. That's interesting. Some people say it could be aliens too. In North Dakota, White Lady Lane. I have heard of this one, and some friends swear by this. The story of White Lady Lane is a tragic one. The legend says that a young woman became pregnant out of wedlock, and her religious parents forced her to marry the father. The baby ended up dying after the wedding. The girl was so upset about her baby and forced marriage, she hung herself from a bridge in her wedding dress, and locals claim to still see her ghost hanging from the bridge. The story of White Lady Bridge Lane, that's what it is. In Ohio, the werewolf of Defiance. So in the well, again, folks, I'm going alphabetically. Come on, give me a break now. I've said that about 10 times. So I'm getting alphabetically. So just hold on. Because this is what happened last time. People were saying, what about Texas? What about Wisconsin? What about this? And no, this time it's going to be alphabetically. So Ohio, the werewolf of Defiance. So during the summer of 1972, the people of Defiance claimed that they were being terrorized by a werewolf. So the sightings always happen at night, generally by the train tracks. So a couple of women said it would try to get into their houses by rattling the doorknobs. The animal was said to be huge, hairy. No, I wasn't referring to you. Hairy and dressed in rags. Please understand, I have 3 different computers running at once, guys, and people are slamming me with questions on Messenger. So if I address an issue, it's not because of you. The animal was said to be huge, hairy, and dressed in rags. But after summer ended, the beast disappeared, never to be heard again. But the story lingers. the story links. Oklahoma, the mysterious shaman's portal. I do have some friends there, and they believe this is true. The mysterious occurrences in Beaver Dunes Park have been attributed to the fact that it was built upon ancient Native American burial grounds, which is why it's called the Shaman Portal. It's also known as the Oklahoma Bermuda Triangle, for those of you who don't know. Mysterious things have happened in the park, starting with the Spanish conquistadors who went missing while searching for gold in the 1500s. Since then, paranormal activity seekers flocked to the dunes. Now, some people claim that a UFO crashed there, and a group in the 90s who tested the soil said it was abnormal. In Oregon, the Bandage Man of Cannon Beach. It kind of looks like, honestly, this. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the picture. It looks like the movie from the scene in the Twilight. It might have been where they're on the beach. I think it might have been, because it looks just like it. The Bandage Man of Cannon Beach. The Bandage Man is the American version of a mummy. He's rumored to be a ghost of a logger who died in a sawmill accident and now terrorizes teenagers who hang out at a deserted area of highway near Cannon Beach. Well, thank you very much. Story says that he knocks on a car window to try and get in and smells really, really bad. You know what this really does? If you check this out, I think this really might. I think this was in the Twilight movies. Cannon, Cannon Beach, Cannon Beach in Oregon. I think it is. In Pennsylvania, the bus to nowhere. In Philadelphia, there's rumored to be a bus that doesn't have an end destination. The story says that the bus only picks up passengers that are at their lowest moments, who need to get away from the problems. And once the passenger is ready to face the world, they can get off the bus. But the passenger has no idea how long they've been on the bus for. It could have been hours, days, or even years. Of Rhode Island, the Devil's Footprints. I've had some paranormal teams come out there and they've seen this. They believe this is legitimate. Rhode Island, the Devil's Footprints. There's a rock on Devil's Foot Road that appears to show a normal human footprint, and it with a cloven hoof. The story goes that a Native American woman murdered a white man and fled the scene of the crime. And while running, she was stopped by another man. She cried out for the devil to save her. And when the man admitted that he himself was the devil, he stomped his feet on the ground to prove that he had a hoof, which the rock still shows on this day. And that team says, yes, it is. Thank you there, Gail. Thank you. In South Carolina, the death of Julia Lagar, I think it's Lagari. In 1800s, the Lagares were a well-to-do South Carolina family that had homes on the mainland and on Edisto Island. The daughter Julia got sick, was pronounced dead, was buried inside the family mausoleum. Years later, another member of the Lagari family died, and when their tomb was opened up, the remains of Julia were found outside of her coffin. The story says that Julia had been in a coma. She'd woken up. She tried to escape her tomb, but she died. Can you believe that? So after the first reopening of the Lagari mausoleum, the door can't seem to stay shut. The Lagares tried the multiple different doors, and every single time the door was found open. People believe the ghost of Julia didn't want to be locked in that tomb any longer. Isn't that crazy? So that's South Carolina, the death of Julia Lagari. In South Dakota, a Walking Sam and the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. Purportedly over 7 feet tall and very slim, Walking Sam is said to appear on the streets of Pine Ridge Indian Reservation at night, and he tries to convince teenagers to take their own lives. Whether or not Walking Sam is real, something tragic is going on at the reservation. From December 2014 to May 2015, there were 103 suicide attempts at Pine Ridge. In Tennessee, the boy in the bathroom at Pine Haven School. The Pine Haven School, located in Jamestown, if you want to do some research on it, is old and abandoned. It's said to be haunted. A tragic story supposedly took place there. You know what? Hey, Deacon Tommy, do you know anything about that? You're in that area. It's in Tennessee, in Jamestown, called the Pine Haven School. I wonder if it's still abandoned. Pine Haven School. If it is, maybe we can go there and do an investigation. It's a tragic story supposedly took place there where a boy again was cornered by a group of bullies in the bathroom, shoved into a mirror, which shattered and killed him. It says here, to avoid getting caught committing murder, the bullies decided to bury the body underneath the floorboards today people say that if you go inside the school, you can see the reflection of the boy if you look in the mirror. Ooh. In Texas, the Candy Lady. Well, thank you very much. And the Candy Lady. Yeah, if any of you, again, if any of you have seen this or you can verify this, let me know, because I'll let people know. Look, I think it's pretty cool if we can verify this activity. So if you've seen any of these, if you live in the States, let us know. In Texas, the Candy Lady. And she started appearing in windowsills. So in the early 1900s, children in an unnamed rural town in Texas started going missing, and the residents blamed it on the Candy Lady. Now, the story says that she would go around leaving candy on children's windows, and eventually she'd lure the kids out with notes attached promising more candy. The story picked up steam when a farmer allegedly found rotten teeth on his farm and later found the body of a boy with his pockets stuffed with candy. Now, while little is known about the origin of the story, some have speculated the Candy Lady was real. And then her name, you can Google this, Clara Crane. So if you want to do some research for, if you have shows or podcast shows or whatever it might be, Clara Crane. In Utah, the curse of Escalante petrified forests. So here it is. While it is illegal to take anything from Escalante Petrified Forest State Park, there is a legend that says that if anyone who takes a piece of the petrified wood from the park will be cursed with bad luck, sickness, and accidents. So don't take it. So park manager Kendall Farnsworth stated in 2014 that he gets about a dozen packages every year containing a piece of wood from the park and an apologetic letter detailing the sinner's misfortunes. Isn't that? Don't go there and take anything, guys. It's against the law. But Utah, the curse of Escalante Petrified Forest. In Vermont, I've been to Vermont, a beautiful state. The Frozen People. First appearing in a diary that was published in the late 1800s, the legend of the hibernating old people recounts the tale of a poor family outside of Montpelier who couldn't afford to feed and clothe the oldest members of their family. So they froze the people and buried them. And according to the tale, when spring rolled around, the elders thawed out and were just fine. What? Come on. Now that's just... by the way, the Oikigahara forest in Japan, the Oikigahara forest, that's known as the suicide forest. Now, if people have asked me, is there any place that I'd want to go internationally? The Oikigahara is number one. As far as investigation, Israel would be number one as far as a tourist and seeing, obviously, Jerusalem. But as far as investigating, no doubt. If I won the lottery, I would absolutely have a ticket going to Japan and Oikigahara, because what they did, the story goes, is there were so many people struggling financially, and to be able to feed people and to feed their family, they just simply couldn't do it. In Japan, it was terrible, and I did a whole entire presentation. I'll do another one on that because I really enjoyed doing that presentation. But what they did with the elders of the family, the grandmothers, the grandfathers, then said, okay, take me to Oikigahara. And it's a forest by one of the mountains there, the volcano, and Mount Fuji. And they died. They left them there. And because they couldn't afford it. It was either they couldn't afford the food. And that's one of the reasons why it got, of course, now people go there and do terrible things, which is sad. But I'll do a presentation again on the Oikigahara forest, because it really is, that is the number one bucket list. Internationally, number one. No question. No question. Virginia, folks, the urban legend, the Bunny Man. Virginia, what are you guys drinking? Bunny Man Bridge is in Clifton, Virginia. I do believe there's a little bit too much moonshine going on in Virginia. The Bunny Man's legend starts with what every good urban legend starts with, an insane asylum. So the people of Clifton were so up in arms about the asylum that they were able to get all the patients transferred. The patients were being moved on a bus that crashed. And the police were able to catch all the patients except one, the Bunny Man. Do you remember the one of the Halloween movies? I don't know which one, I can't remember what it was, but they were trying to get all the people into this bus, and it took off, and then there was a crash, and then of course one, the main one, Michael Myers, survived. According to the tale, the Bunny Man lived in the woods and sustained himself on woodland creatures like bunnies, but eventually he attacked humans. Now, urban legend says some people report him being attacked. Some people report being attacked by a man with a hatchet. Others tales say that the groups of teens would see a bright light and then would wind up dead and strung over a bridge. Goodness gracious. The Bunny Man Bridge in Clifton, Virginia. Okay, Washington, Bigfoot. One of the most famous Bigfoot sightings in Washington. Bigfoot is an internationally recognizable name, has been spotted all over the country, all over the world, but Bigfoot has been spotted the most in Washington state. Bigfoot is essentially the gigantic ape-like creature who is either ferocious beast who attacks loggers or hikers, or who a gentle giant who wants to be left alone. Either way, the legend says there's something creepy about an undiscovered species of animal wandering around the Pacific. Thank you very much, Ellen. That's very sweet. Thank you. Evading capture. And West Virginia, Mothman. Now, people are telling me that's what I saw at the Gates of Hell Cemetery. Perhaps it is. I know I saw something. I know all four of us saw something. But the 1966 stories say that West Virginia was visited by an insectoid flying creature with bright red eyes who resembled both a moth and a man. But it wasn't a moth that I saw. It was more of a bat. He was spotted flying around the town of Point Pleasant, along with shining lights and men in black. Mothman's origins have been claimed as supernatural, alien, or government experiment gone wrong, but Point Pleasant has embraced the monster. They put up a statue, created a museum, even dedicated a festival to it. I've never been there. In 2002, a film starring Richard Gere called The Mothman Prophecies was released. I'm going to have to watch that again. Wisconsin, the Boy Scout Lane. In Wisconsin, the story of what exactly happened in Boy Scout Lane varies, but they all end with the same conclusion. A group of Boy Scouts dead on the road. In some urban legend stories, there was a bus crash, a bus allegedly, with no survivors. And they were murdered by their bus driver, or they just mysteriously vanished into the woods one by one. Visitors have reported seeing bodies on trees and feeling as though they were being watched and finding child-sized handprints. In Wyoming, the Devil's Tower. For those of you who want to know this, the Devil's Tower is located in the Bear Ridge Mountains in Wyoming. And again, for those of you who offer thank you for the gifts on TikTok and the likes. I appreciate that. Now, there's no scientific consensus on why Devil's Rock looks the way it does, but Native American creation story attributes the landmark shape to a tragedy. So according to the story, a large group of Cheyenne girls were attacked and killed by a bear. Two escaped and found help from two boys who convinced the girls to act as bait. They climbed to the top of the tower, and the bear tried to follow, and the boys shot arrows at the bear, and it finally gave up, leaving scratches all the way down the rock as it slid down. Well, that's one of the urban legends, and you can say, well, I don't know about all that, but there you go. So that's there's so many cool urban legends. When you read them, it's like, what? There's so many, you guys, I have so many. We'll continue if you guys want to know more. I'll be more than happy to tell you. I'm going to open up because I promised that I would, as long as people are just nice. Hold on, everybody. Let me just, there we go. Open up chat for everybody, because I said I would. There we go. Okay. By the way, I'll continue some more. Those of you who like the urban legend, this is from Title Max. I love urban legends. In Alabama, a dead children's playground. During late hours, the urban legend says swings move by themselves. The spirits of buried children come to play. Dead Children's Playground in Alabama. In Alaska, Kushtaka, which I've already talked about. In Arizona, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Christopher. In Arizona, Slaughterhouse Canyon. We talked about that. In Arkansas, there's also a thing called Dog Boy. A werewolf-like ghost walks on all four legs and haunts his childhood home. The myth is based on a sad story of a real man. Gerald Bettis, for those of you who want to know, Gerald Bettis, Bettis, who was rumored to experiment on stray animals, reportedly abused his elderly parents. Gosh. Yep. In California also, there's called Montana. Yeah, we just did it on Montana, but I'm going to go over a couple more. In California, the Dark Watchers. Featureless dark silhouettes, often with brimmed hats or walking sticks, stare down travelers during twilight and dawn in Santa Lucia Mountains. John Steinbeck briefly mentioned them in the Flight. They could not be addressed or acknowledged. Colorado, Riverdale Road. We talked about that. In Connecticut. So we have to say this as well. Annabelle, the demonic doll. So for those of you who, Annabelle is located in the movie The Conjuring, and Annabelle is inspired by a real-life Raggedy Ann doll. It was supposedly inhabited by the spirit of a dead girl, which was given to two demonologists, Ed and Lorraine Warren. So I knew Lorraine, but she didn't like Annabelle. She did not like Annabelle at all. Delaware, there's an urban legend called the Corpse Light. There's no lighthouse in Cape Henlopen, but there's a phantom light. See, it crashed the ship Devonshire on Christmas in 1665, and more than 200 men died. Now, allegedly, the light is a curse from a local Native American tribe after British soldiers slaughtered attendees at a wedding ceremony. Well, Tori, I believe that there are some urban legends. I think there is some truth in some of these, but I think some of them, like where I mentioned that these people saw a skeleton chasing after them on that island. I thought, well, on Deer Island, probably not a skeleton, probably just a bit too much alcohol that night. So, I mean, some of these are like, okay, no. But I found that many urban legends are based on some type of historical event or to teach people a lesson. Just like in Alaska, where I talked about in Kushtaka, where they think that you see this creature if you get too close to the rivers. I believe that really was to keep children away from the rivers, especially when it was icing over, because the current is so fast. And if a lot of kids like to play on the river or run on the whatever it might be, and they go through. So I think there is some logic there as to why that was created. The Devil's Chair. Now, I talked about that in Florida. I've not been there. I've not seen it, but there are people who swear by it. In Georgia, the Cursed Pillar. After a preacher was told he couldn't deliver a sermon next to the pillar, he declared that the whole town would be destroyed, and the pillar would be the only thing left standing. A freak tornado destroyed most of Augusta. And you know the only thing that stood? The pillar. I teach angelology. I teach demonology, angelology, genealogy, and paranormal studies online. You can go to bishopjameslong.com and click on the class link. It'll take you there. Hawaii, night marchers, the deadly ghost of ancient Hawaiian warriors march over the waters, chanting and blowing conch shells. If you hear them, run, they say. We talked about the water babies in Iowa. Ghost elephants in Illinois. A real-life 1918 train wreck of circus cars leading to troop deaths has popularized the legend that elephants had to be buried where they fell. Supposedly, the circus still takes place at night in Woodland Cemetery. So people go to Woodland Cemetery and they allegedly hear the trumpets of an elephant. Indiana, the green-clawed beast in the Ohio River. With hairy arms, clawed hands, and a green skin, the human-sized creature grabs unsuspecting women. And urban legend says you got to be careful about that. In Iowa, the Vasilla Axe Murder House. I've never been to the Vasilla Axe Murder House. That is a place that I would like to go to. It's actually based on real events. For those of you who don't know, it's in Iowa. It's a 1912 cold case, features a whole family, 2 parents, 4 children, and 2 house guests being bludgeoned to death in their sleep. So since then, the house has been the source of odd paranormal activity, such as ghost hunter stabbing himself in the chest in 2014. I've never been there, but I certainly would like to. In Kansas, the gateway to hell, one of the several gateways to hell in America, the stairs of an old demolished church open to the other side of Halloween. So we've talked about that. In Kentucky, the Kentucky Goblins, that the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter was a supposed extraterrestrial appearance of a small goblin-like green hairless children with 3 toes. And while most skeptics are easily dismiss them as owls, there have been a few new wave of sightings of them, allegedly. I've never seen these little goblins. In Louisiana, now I have friends that live down near the swamp, and here's what they say: the Rougarou. The Rougarou is definitely something you need to check out if you don't know the Rougarou. And if you don't, check it out. A pale white werewolf-like creature prowls the swamps, and often the stories it's engaged children to behave, such as hunting down people who don't practice, even Lent. In Maine, Colonel Buck's tomb. So I remember that we talked about the witch's leg. Try that. Look at that. It's kind of crazy. Maryland, the Goat Man. Massachusetts, so we talked about that. Michigan, we talked about that. Minnesota, the Wendigo. There are people who swear by the Wendigo. It's one of the oldest legendary monsters, dating back to folklore of Native Americans who hunted these. They actually hunted these 15-foot tall shape-shifting creatures, even into the early 20th century. And anyone who resorts to cannibalism and tastes human flesh will become a Wendigo. Yeah, the black-eyed children are everywhere, really. There are so many people that have claimed to see black-eyed children in all kinds of places, all kinds of locations. Now, here's one that I didn't talk about. Missouri, Zombie Road. Now, my friends Christopher St. Booth on the Booth brothers and Keith Age, actually, he's the one who hosted it. They have a documentary out on the Zombie Road. And now Keith is not the type of person that kind of, he'll tell you if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And he's been in the paranormal for a long, long time. But Missouri, called the Zombie Road, stories about strange deaths along the road as far as back as Native American times and drownings in the nearby river made it a fun haunted spot for teenagers for decades. But many of them have perished in strange accidents. Today, dark shadows will follow you, seen only out of the corner of your eye. Sometimes they're blatantly seen. I would encourage you to check that out. The Booth brothers, the doppelgangers are interesting. We talked about that I think just last week or the week before. But Zombie Road in Missouri, there's several pictures on there that they captured on the Booth brothers that are pretty interesting. Very, very interesting. If you have not checked that out, definitely do so. Let's see, New Jersey, the Ghost Boy of Clinton Road. Clinton Road, if you're in New Jersey, hiding under one of the bridges of Clinton Road, is a ghost boy. Don't worry, he's allegedly pretty nice and helpful. If you throw a coin in the river, he'll return it to you. I have seen that. Yeah, I've seen that. The Nefarious. Yeah, I did a movie review on that. Talked about Cropsey. I'm just trying to see which ones we haven't talked about. Well, Rhode Island. If you're in Rhode Island, tell me if you know this. Mercy Brown, the vampire. Well, thank you there. I appreciate that. The vampire. Outbreaks of tuberculosis caused a vampire scare in 1892. When a full family contracted the disease, while most of her family's bodies decomposed, Mercy's body seemed to be frozen in time, making people suspect her to be a vampire. People swear that Mercy Brown is a vampire. Yeah, I've done Colorado. Let's see. We've done Candyland, Curse, okay, Deep Frozen Folks, the Bunny Man. We talked about that. The white things in West Virginia. A Mothman might be the more popular mystery, but in rural West Virginia is also home to mysterious dog-like creatures the size of a lion with white, shaggy fur. See, that's no. See, here's the thing. A lot of people like to go out on these places, these haunted locations in the woods and stuff like that, searching crazy things. I'm like, no, because there's animals out there that's like Bigfoot. You go out there and you chase down Bigfoot. You might not be chasing down Bigfoot, but you might be chasing down a big old bear or a bobcat, a mountain lion. See, those type of things, that's the stuff that you got to be very, very careful about, because there's a lot of these have been debunked. Some of these have been debunked, some of them not. So, okay. What's false? Let's see. Victoria. Oh, the Nephilim. Yeah, the Nephilim. We talked about this. The Nephilim. Here's the deal with the Nephilim. And I guess that's a fair urban legend. I guess you call that an urban legend. The Nephilim is incorrect. The Nephilim, we'll talk about that because I think it's fair, because a lot of people, no matter, it seems like always people are always asking about Nephilims, especially in scripture. And because, they say, oh, it's there. And, they were giants and all this. They were not. They were not. So no matter what anyone tells you, it's incorrect information. It's sad that people do that, but they do. They want to do it because they want to scare you, and they want to create this thing that just simply doesn't exist. You're talking about the Book of Enoch. And again, the sons of God, as I've mentioned this many, many times during a Bible study, the sons of God were actually the children of Seth. And any rabbi will tell you that. They were not angels. They were not fallen demons. They were the children of Seth, the third child of Adam and Eve. Any rabbi will tell you this. And then people say, well, the Nephilim were offspring of angels, demons, and women. No, they were not. They were absolutely not. Because Nephilim, actually, the translation means fierce warriors. It does not mean giant. And furthermore, again, Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 tells you that when the sons of God, not demons, they were not demons, but it says when the sons of God had relationships with women. Okay, in Genesis chapter 6, verse 4, it tells you that the Nephilim existed before and after the sons of God had relations with women. So the Nephilim could not be the offspring of demons and women, because they existed before. So that this whole thing about the Nephilim is a lie, just to spread just to make documentaries, just to make a buck. And people don't like when I say it, but that's what Scripture says. Okay, so that whole thing is just a big lie. They were not demons. And by the way, it's very clear in Matthew. Jesus said that angels neither procreate or marry. So Jesus said they don't do it. So again, but Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 says the Nephilim existed before and after the sons of God had relationships with women. So therefore, the Nephilim could not have been the offspring of angels and women, because they existed before the event took place. And by the way, Paul even says in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 4, and 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. He tells us, don't argue over endless genealogies and myths such as the Nephilim. And endless genealogies, the reason he's mentioned endless genealogies is because there was an argument that sin came from the demons. And there was this huge genealogy in the book of Enoch, all the way from the lowest angel all the way to Satan. And saying that sin is all the purposeful blame of demons. So it takes the responsibility of human truth or human decision making out of the equation, and saying, oh, no, it's not because humans sin. No, it's all because of demons. So again, folks, it's nonsense. It's incorrect. It is theologically incorrect. And these people who are making these documentaries, they darn well know it too. But they make these documentaries so that you click the like button so they can get a paycheck from YouTube. So I'm just telling you, Paul says it's ridiculous. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 says they existed before and after. Sorry, folks. The Nephilim were not giants at all. They were fierce warriors. That's the actual proper translation, the Greek translation for it. So that's just the way it goes, you know. Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. You know, reptilians are interesting, aren't they? I did a presentation just last week. For those of you who might be new, I did a last week's show was alien abduction and aliens. Every Friday I'm here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we actually talked about the theory of aliens who are reptilians. Now, look, here's the deal. That's an legend. That's a fair urban legend. I have never seen and met anybody that I would describe necessarily as a reptilian. The only person that I have seen, the only time that I have seen something like a serpent-like eyelid is during an exorcism. That's the only time. It's very serpent-like. That's the only time that I've ever seen that I would say that many times the eyes would dilate and then shrink. That is the only time that I've ever seen what I would describe as reptilian eyes. But it's very serpent. I wouldn't say it's a lizard. It's more a contortion of the face where even the jerking like a snake, and the face and the flicking of the tongue. So that I would describe that as more of snake rather than a lizard, but I guess it's the same principle. The number is 31. I don't understand. Well, see, a lot of people ask me about paranormal shows and is it okay to watch it? Okay, here's the deal with paranormal shows. If you are undergoing demonic activity in your home, I got to tell you something. I have not met anybody who actually has gone through legitimate demonic activity in their home and actually sits and watch paranormal demonic shows. I've not seen that because they're living it. So people who have legitimate demonic activity, they don't. Most of the people who I have worked with throughout the years, they're not in the paranormal community at all. They have nothing to do with the paranormal at all. They don't watch the shows. They don't go to conferences. They know nothing about demons. They know nothing about all that stuff. The majority of time they don't. So, but I don't think. Numbers chapter. Yeah. Okay. What about it? We can talk. Okay. Today's more of we can. I invite you to come tomorrow, folks. For those of you who don't know, tomorrow's open mic night, and then Sunday and Wednesday we have Bible study, and so I encourage you. If you have no idea, you don't know, please come on by, and we'd love to have you guys. It'll be great. We have that every single Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and so yeah. I mean, I don't understand. Numbers 31, Numbers chapter 31. Are we talking about Moab and Midian? In the regions of Moab and Midian, and the Israelite soldiers commissioned by Moses, and they waged war against the Midianites, killing. I think they killed all the men, and the kings and livestock and women. It was a bloody war. So I'm not really, not sure. I'm not sure. What do you mean by that? Okay. Well, see, the thing is as far as no, I don't personally believe, this is my personal belief. It's all about intent. If you watch these shows with the intent to communicate with the spirit world or demonic world, yeah, that's a problem, and you shouldn't do it. If you watch these shows for educational purposes, to be aware, to know that they exist, I personally don't see an issue with that. The problem becomes when people watch these shows and then they're hoping that they can start invoking these demon names that sometimes these shows mention. I wish they would stop that. I wish they would stop doing that, because a lot of people do that, and that really irritates me. You know, I'm glad you mentioned. I forgot all about that, didn't I? I forgot to open it up on my Facebook page, because Facebook, for whatever reason, doesn't open it up on my Facebook page. Yep, it's locked, of course. So I got to make it public. I've got to remember that. I've got to remember to open it up on public on my Facebook page. Anyway, as far as Numbers 31, that's when God told Moses to give a tribute to Eleazar the priest as the Lord's part of the earnings. But I don't understand what do you mean has to do with you? I'm not sure what the question is. So it just really depends on the intent, on dealing with. And I just think some people go to the extreme and saying, "Oh no, you're going to be possessed," and folks. It's just simply not true. I know a lot of people who watch these shows and they do not become possessed. They just don't. So I think we kind of go overboard sometimes with people. This is just what I've seen, and I just haven't seen that to be true. So. Yeah, there's a lot of shows. Now, by the way, for those of you who don't know, I am on a cast member on a show on the Travel Channel and Max. It is Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists. And so that comes on Thursday night on Travel Channel and HBO and Max. I think they call it Max now. But it's at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's what, if you want to check that out, that is on Thursday night at 10 p.m. There we go. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, and I think that's one thing that I liked about the show that I'm on is that because we're telling you the stories. We're telling you what some of our stories, some of our cases are. Now, obviously, we don't. You got to understand, folks. We have no control of how they're going to edit and how they're going to recreate the story. We don't have control of that. We tell, hey, this is what happened. This is what we experienced. And they recreate it to the best of their ability. I think that's a very important show because it's never been done before. Because when you watch a paranormal show, you kind of get tired of okay, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yes, we heard it. Move on. Okay. How many years can we hear? Really? Seriously. How many years did you hear that? I mean, it's stagnant. It's like watching a rerun. And I love the paranormal, but I mean, the shows are just kind of like, oh, come on. Yes, we heard it. Move on. This show is so different because it's never, ever been done in the paranormal community. Never. And I have been in the paranormal for 35 years ago was my first time that I ever investigated. So this is very unique to actually have clergy, a diverse group of people to tell our stories and then have a network recreate them. And I think it's pretty cool. So, you're very welcome. Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcist. It's going. That's fantastic. You guys like it? That's great. Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcist. He's the executive producer, one of the executive producers, and it's on the Travel Channel and on Max. Now we haven't heard anything about a season 2 yet, so we don't know. If there is a season 2, we'll let you know. You just never know. It all depends on obviously everything is about ratings, so we don't know. So. But that's what it's called. Eli Roth presents Legion of Exorcists. It's on Travel Channel and Max. Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nice to meet you as well. Let's see. How do you become a proper investigator without being a rookie ghost hunter? First of all, I appreciate the question. I've never been a fan. I have never been a fan. I'll answer that question in just a second, Tara. I've never been a fan of the term ghost hunter. I've never liked that term. And the reason being is because who are you hunting ghosts? I mean, these are people who previously passed. So to me, I've never been a fan of paranormal investigators. I think, anyway, I guess that's, tomato. But I would always, if you want to be an investigator, number one, you need to make sure that you're an investigator with a team that is credible. Thank you very much. You have to be, Yvonne, thank you. You have to go make sure that you go and you find a team that is reputable. So if any of you want to go into a team, folks, please do that. Don't join a team that's not reputable. Again, for those of you who don't know, I have 3 different computers running. So if I answer a question, you're like, well, no one asked that question. You understand that I'm not losing my mind. It's because a lot of people are asking me questions on Messenger, on Twitter. They're sending me private messages on YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Spreaker. I have 3 different computers. So no, I'm celibate. But no, you have, if you want to be a paranormal investigator, my strong advice would be find a team that doesn't think everything is a demon. Because there are teams out there that think everything is a demon, and that is just so stupid. So stupid. Someone's stomach growled. It's a demon. Did you hear the growl? It's a demon. No, shut up. Come on. Really, they think everything is a demon. Or this is what happens a lot. Stay away from these teams. You have people who come in and they say that they're a psychic medium. And I have friends that are gifted. I'm friends with Chip Coffey. He's a world-renowned psychic, and Willie Windwalker Gibson. But they come in, and immediately this person who has no training in demonology, none at all, walk in. It's a demon. It wants to kill everybody. Oh, shut up. Go eat a cheeseburger or something. Seriously, just stop. Matter of fact, I did that one time. I was with a team. They asked me to investigate with them, and I had some time, and I said, okay. And this person came in, and I kind of knew their reputation, and I just wasn't going to have it. I wasn't going to have it. So they immediately went in, there's a demon, and it's going to possess us all. And I literally said, please just shut up and go get a cheeseburger. Please, just stop. Because obviously you're hungry. Because your mind, you're losing your ever-loving mind. So just knock it off. But seriously, because that's what they do, and it's like, just stop. But don't get involved. If there's a team and you want to join it, do not get involved with a team that everything is a demon. It's not true. It's just simply not true. And find a team that tries to debunk the activity. That's really important. They try to debunk it. And I think that if you do that, I think that will help you a lot. No, I have not there, Jess. Okay. Someone asked a question. I forgot. Was it Tara? I think she asked a question, but I forgot what it was. I'm a bit worried because I have 2 kids. Yeah, Tara, what was your question? Because I said I was going to address that, and then of course, it was a blonde moment. So Tara O'Brien, what was your question there? Because I said, yeah, that's a good question. I'll address it, but I wanted to answer this question here. That's what happens when you get old and naturally blonde. Oh, you're moving to China and the house is haunted. Wow. You're hoping for guidance for what? Yeah, please don't pin because it causes. I can read it. We only ask moderators to pin because otherwise it causes the thing to. No. So Tara, yeah. Again, folks, I appreciate the question. But yeah, we just keep in mind that we only ask people who are moderators to pin. So anybody who's not a moderator, your comments will be, because it causes the chat to lag. But Tara's question is it safe to move into a home that's haunted? The answer is no. No, it's not. Here's what I would strongly encourage you to do. If you believe that a home is haunted, you need the home blessed. Absolutely. 100%. Let me just give you guys a little hint, or not a hint. I'm going to tell you straight out. If I ever move, I don't care where it is. I always bless the location, no matter what. I don't care if it was a former church even. I don't care. I will bless every single time. If I have to move, I will bless the home. It's just not a good idea. It's just not. I don't want any spirit here. The only spirit I want in my home is the Holy Spirit. That's the only spirit that I want in my home. Any other spirit, I'm sorry. If I'm walking, And if my mom wants to send me a message, let me know that she's here, that's fine. But the only spirit that I want in my house is the Holy Spirit. That's it. So I would strongly encourage, anytime you're moving, if you know clergy, ask them. Or they try to make it worse. Well, then they didn't do it right. So they need to do it again. If they made it worse, they need to go back and perform, perhaps, because here's what's happening. If they made it worse, then it's malevolent. So what happens sometimes is if you go to a home that has haunted activity and you start blessing that home, that is a form of provocation. So you're provoking. And if it is demonic, if it's malevolent in nature, evil in nature, and it has ill intent, the activity could increase. And if it does increase, then you need to perform, then the clergy member needs to perform what is called the minor rite of exorcism. So here's what minor rite of exorcism is. You don't perform an exorcism on a home. That doesn't exist. It's absurd. You bless the home. I've heard so many people in the paranormal community say, "Oh, I perform an exorcism on home." Well, obviously, if you think you performed an exorcism on the home, then you don't know anything about demonology, because you can't perform an exorcism on a home. You bless the home. You perform the exorcism on the demonic or malevolent spirit that has infested itself within the home. So I don't understand. I don't understand why churches don't do this, considering that Christ actually bestowed the ministry of deliverance upon his disciples. So it was obviously a very important ministry for Christ. So I agree with you. I don't understand why clergy members don't do this, because I agree. I don't understand why they don't do it. So that's what I would do. I would get clergy. If it's gotten worse, they need to perform the minor rite of exorcism. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. What about negative energies that attach to people coming to your home? And that can absolutely occur. So, matter of fact, I've had situations like that before, where I've had a case where people did some pretty bad stuff, pretty bad mojo, really bad stuff. They went into a family's home, and that caused the infestation. Because I tried to figure out what in the world was causing the demonic activity. See, here's the deal. When you have activity in the home, the clergy has to find out what caused it. That's absolutely crucial to know. Because you want to make sure the person doesn't do it again. So whatever it might have been, however accidental or not. So you got to find out the root cause. What caused the infestation? Infestation is when the demonic infests itself within the home. That's the issue. So you got to find out that root cause. And then once you find the root cause, and you say, "Hey, don't do that again. This is what caused it." So that's important. You can also do what's called it's possessed items, not possessed items, demonic attachment. So people are possessed. Objects are attached. They have attachments. But again, people will refer to possessed items. I have an item that has a demonic attachment. Matter of fact, the doll that was on the Eli Roth, the show that I'm on, presents Legion of Exorcists. I think that was one of the first episodes. I have that doll. I own that doll. And I talk about it, and so it's a very violent. But you have a demonic attachment. Well, again, when the home is blessed, a couple things. Most of the time, when the home is blessed, it's quiet, it's fine. But if there's a demonic infestation and the home is blessed, many times the activity can increase. And if it does increase, then it can actually become very violent. And that's where you got to be careful. You got to be very careful about that. So, yeah, it's one of those things you have to be cautious, because when you do perform these rituals, now you can do what's called the epiphany of the doors. It's also called the blessing of the doors. So it's named by actually it's named by several names: epiphany of the doors, blessing of the doors, chalking of the doors. Either one. It could be a TikTok issue. Either one. And so you can do that yourself. You can Google that. Epiphany or blessing of the doors. And you can Google it, and they will show you. They'll walk you through step by step by step by step. And so, yeah, I have a storage facility of haunted items that people have sent me and said, please take this out of my home. Each door, door frame. Yeah, every door. But if you just Google, if you Google a chalking of the door, epiphany of the door, blessing of the door, the doll is blessed. Yeah. However, the doll is blessed. But here's the very quick in the story, in the Eli Roth, the television show I'm on, that actually happened when I took the doll out. I was at Louisville Mid-South Paranormal Conference, so I had the doll with me. I took it out its case because people kept saying, please, please let us see it. Let us see it. And I was like, I really don't feel comfortable with it. Please. So they kept going on and on. I said, fine. Okay. I'll take it out of its case. So I took it out of its case. And then I said, here it is. And people were like, no, we don't want it. Put it back in. No one wanted that doll. No one wanted nothing about it. And this was a room full of people that witnessed this. And so I was getting ready to put it back in its case. And someone asked me a question and I got distracted. And I put it right next to my laptop, brand new laptop. I turned around to address the question. And as soon as I turned it, a firefighter in the front row said, Bishop Long, your computer. I turned around and the laptop caught fire. The whole entire, I still have the thumb drive that was there that actually burnt. I still have that. The whole entire laptop caught fire. First of all, I was furious at myself because I'd saved for a laptop and the darn thing just caught fire. I had heard a lot about haunted objects for 35 years, but I never experienced something like that in my entire life. When I saw that, I thought, that's it. That was it. Oh shoot, folks, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say goodbye to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter because we're getting ready top of the hour, and we have a show coming up on KGRADB radio. So for those of you who are on Spreaker, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. Hang tight, TikTok. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'll stay with you guys for just a little bit longer. But yeah, time goes by so fast, doesn't it? Okay, for those of you on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, I'm going to have to say goodnight to you guys soon. But I always leave you with this. And if you guys want to go over TikTok, you can. I'm going to be closing Clapper here in a minute. But listen to me, folks. Your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Friends, you are priceless, and never let anybody convince you or tell you otherwise. Now, I'm going to be here tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's open mic night. I'll have Miss Wilma on. Miss Wilma is a 68-year-old woman with multiple sclerosis and a pacemaker. She comes on, tells her jokes. We have a good time cut up for about 30 minutes, and then I'll answer your paranormal questions like I've done tonight. Okay? So Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, God bless.
The Secret Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.